Gentlemen, it is my special pleasure to introduce a woman who clearly needs no introduction. A very great actress on her first trip to London.
Marilyn, is it true you wear nothing in bed but perfume?
Oh. Darling, as I'm in England, let's say I sleep in nothing but Yardley's lavender.
I first read Colin Clark's books 7 or 8 years ago. So this has been a real labour of love of mine to get to this point. And all the way through, there was the question of, but who will we get to play Marilyn? Who will we get to play Olivier? To say nothing of Vivian Leigh and Arthur Miller.
Dreadful slave driver he could be. Are you looking after Larry, like I told you?
I'm doing my best with him.
Marilyn, darling, Larry tells me that you are quite superb. And I am wild with jealousy. But everyone says you are a wonderful Elsie on stage. Oh, but I'm too old to play her in the film. Larry was quite brutal about that.
Obviously, it's key casting, Marilyn Monroe. It's dangerous, I think, for an actress. This is something that's going to be scrutinised. There are millions of fans of Marilyn Monroe. A lot of people know every frame of work that exists of her. And so it's not something to be taken on lightly. And what we were trying to find was a real actress, someone with genuine weight, genuine credentials, and not just a lookalike. This is not about impersonation, this is about a real performance. And we looked at Michelle very early on.
I long to see her.
This story describes a miracle. Miss Monroe?
Marilyn is not ready.
Excuse my horrible face.
A few days in my life when a dream came true.
I didn't know Colin Clark or I hadn't read his books or anything, but I thought that the script had a pace and a flow and a heart, and her. I just responded to her.
Get in.
Any problem, Roger?
No, just dropped by to take Colin out to lunch.
You're not taking him to Marilyn.
Oh, no, sir.
Okay. You have a nice time, boys.
Surprise! Roger and I decided to take you on an adventure.
What the hell? Colin! Get back here, you little bastard! Colin!
Are you frightened of me, Colin?
No.
Good, because I like you.
Colin, is everything okay?
Miss Monroe had some large packages she needed handled.
I grew up with a picture of her in my bedroom. And there was this picture of her, and she's wearing a white dress, and she's at Roxbury with Arthur Miller, and she's sort of spinning through the trees. So my primary association with her wasn't of the icon. It wasn't of this sort of sex symbol. It wasn't of a... It was like a girl-to-girl kind of relationship that I had. Not something, I didn't feel like she was sort of holding something over me, some kind of sexual power that I didn't understand. She was just a girl spinning in the trees.
Be careful not to get in too deep, son.
Michelle has brought a phenomenal attention to detail to the part of Marilyn. She and I started talking about the character about a year ago, and there were sort of constant conversations and emails, and we would forward each other YouTube things and discuss various nuances and things we'd found out about Marilyn. And that was just the start of it.
She, I think, is really remarkable as Marilyn. There was a moment when Elaine, the original script supervisor from The Prince and the Showgirl, 50 years previously, was sitting next to me on the set at Pinewood, on the same soundstage, looking at the same set that 50 years previously, as a obviously much younger woman, she had been next to Laurence Olivier, waiting for Marilyn Monroe to arrive. And the door in the corner of the soundstage opened, and backlit and as a silhouette, but unmistakable in this tight sheath-like beautiful dress with this sort of bouffant blonde hair, there was Marilyn Monroe / Michelle Williams, and Elaine, who was there and knew and had seen the real person, grabbed me by the arm and went, "Oh my God, oh my God." And it was a sort of chill-inducing moment as she walked slowly, wrigglingly in this very sexy, restrictive, but also, very becoming dress.
Study
certainly can.
Caught something of Marilyn, I think, very, very beautifully.
I wouldn't buy the little girl lost act if I were you. I think Marilyn knows exactly what she's doing.
Well, you can't do better than Ken Branagh as Olivier, can you?
I mean, what he brings to the role, what he brings to a conversation, what he brings to the hair and makeup trailer, that man is like a force of nature, and he takes the weather with him wherever he goes. We were both so absorbed in what we were doing, and most often kind of locked into our computer with headphones on, listening to the voices of the people that we were trying to capture, watching their faces move. So he and I were sort of on like different sort of command centrals.
I think in some way, Olivier represents old dying England in the 50s, and in some ways Marilyn represents the new brash America.
Heart and fancy free, that's the way to start. There will be nothing to lose till you lose your heart.
You somehow can feel, in the way he looks at her sometimes, a man who doesn't understand her, but my God, does he admire her.
The way that I move, that thermometer proves that I certainly can.
What I didn't understand was the separation between her persona and who she was on the inside. And what I came to realize after reading a lot about her, spending time poring over images and films and press recordings, you know, little video clips, was that Marilyn Monroe, how you commonly think of Marilyn Monroe, that was a character. That was an act, a finely honed act that she put on, that she developed over time with input from teachers, a lot of sort of just face time in the mirror, figuring out how to move in a way that accented her, you know, what she had naturally. Marilyn Monroe was a character that she developed.
All people ever see is Marilyn Monroe.
What must it be like to be the most famous woman on earth? You could quit this. Forget Marilyn Monroe. Forget Hollywood. But let it all go.
First love is such sweet despair, Colin. Shall I be her?
Who?
Marilyn.